morning, everybody. How are you? The devilishly handsome Ian Dixon. Good morning, sir.
Shut up, for fuck's sake. Jesus.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So you may have missed me on Monday. It's not like me to miss a show at Rise Up Show, but indeed I did. Missed it, I did. And it was because I wasn't feeling very well. So nothing in particular, nothing really like, nothing dire. I'm okay. But in the spirit of listening to myself, in the spirit of making sure that I'm focusing on the things that I need to focus on, I just needed that little bit extra half an hour to get my head around life. So I had a really stacked out day on Monday. The summer holidays are proving my angels, my loves, my darlings, to be a little bit of a struggle. And when I say a little bit of a struggle, I mean a lot of a struggle, which I knew it was going to be. I didn't realize just until kind of I got into it just how much of a struggle it was going to be. I thought, yeah, it looks really busy this summer. We'll get some things booked in. And whilst I've managed and everything's okay and everyone's okay and I've done bits with the kids, it's just not felt like summer. It's just not felt like, and this week has been a bit of a snowball of resentment that I felt towards myself, not to my work, certainly not to my clients, certainly not to the incredible things that we're doing as a team, but just resentment to myself. Like, Danny, you should have planned this better. This shouldn't be happening by now. You're 3 years into IATQB. You're 18 months into the Flying Away Foundation. Your time should be better managed at this point. And then I have to remember that we are in like massive momentum. Like, a lot of businesses flounder in their first 3 years. So some businesses only last for 3 years and then they start to see the cracks. And actually, what we're doing here is I'm not seeing the cracks. I'm actually seeing things amplify and broaden and strengthen and get bigger. And that still takes a degree of holding on tight and a degree of still pushing the stationary car, because even though in our community, it's like the kids think I'm famous, even in our community, the IATQB community, this little online space, I am kind of a big deal. The bigger world doesn't know who we are, doesn't know what we're doing, and doesn't know what I'm trying to do, and doesn't know who I am. And a lot of this summer has been about further pushing the boundaries of who knows what we're about and trying to get us on that national stage, and not just online national stage, but in the media, out in the world, so that we're taken serious. And it's happening. It's amazing. It's happening and people are taking notice. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait to announce some of the partnerships that we've got going on, both regionally and nationally. But yesterday hit me hard. Yesterday, I was like, do you know what? I've had phenomenal one-to-ones with my clients. My speaking work is absolutely on point. My connections are strengthening day by day. And then my kids are like coming in and they're like, Mum, can we? Mum, are you? When are you free? When are you knocking off? What have you got time to go for a walk? And because I'm investing so much time into doing all of this, when I step off, there's so little energy left to then jolly myself along. Like, it's all I can do to cook tea and get tea in front of them. Right, they're fed. Yes, I did it. I kept them alive another day. Hooray. And not, I kept them enriched, or we spent some really beautiful moments together today, or I just stopped for 5 minutes. And yesterday it kind of got quite so hard for me not to get emotional about it now talking to you. And the reason why I share things like this with you all is because I don't want you to think that all of these things, for those of you that have been following my journey for a long time now will know that I didn't wake up one morning and just start shitting glitter. That's not what happens when you're building a business or you're doing things on the scale that I'm trying to do things. But I don't want you to think that it is a linear thing, that it's just a really smooth takeoff. It's a really smooth upward trajectory, that there are times when you go, am I cut out for this? You know, I'd really love to invest in additional and extra pairs of hands. And I know that lots of you, even after this conversation today, might get in my inbox and go, oh, well, I could take this off you and I could take that off you. But when you're in growth and momentum, you every time you tip over, you get to the sort of the outward reach of your finances. You get to the outward reach of what you're able to invest in. So you have to do what you have to do in order to tip over. And that is, you know, coming to the edge of your comfort zone. And that's what I feel like I'm at the minute, that we are at another tipping point. And that tipping point is going to allow us to bring in staff. It's going to allow us to bring in hands on deck to alleviate some of the pressure. But I've got to steer the boat there in order to get it there. Who else is feeling mum guilt this summer? Who else is feeling it? So my kids came in yesterday at about 4:30, 5 o'clock. And they were like, Mum, can we just, Mum, I know this is their phrase at the minute. This isn't a now job, Mum, because they've heard me say it. And they also know that I can't do things in the now. If you come to me and give me something, they go, can you do this now? I'm like, no, I'm not. Look at my diary. It's absolutely stacked out. It's back to back. It's not a now job. But if you tell me what the now job is, then I can create space for it. But everything they're coming in, they're thinking of all these things they'd like to do and experiences they'd like to have, or important stuff like the bloody uniform shop. I've not done the uniform shop yet. And they'll go, Mum, it's not a now job, but can we? And then when they say that, I'll be really honest, it feels like another thing to do. And the guilt that comes along with that thought, and that's the internal thought. It's not the external thought. I don't go, oh God, what now? But the internal initial thought is, oh, that's something else I've got to fit in. That's something else I've got to layer on top of all these plates that I'm spinning at the moment as well. And everything that comes in is another thing that has got to go on top of the pile. And I remember being at this is going back some years, about 1996, being in an IT lesson. And our teacher at the time was teaching us about the way that computers work, because what they would do is, whilst the computer is loading up something, the kids would try and like over-click stuff, keep clicking on something. And the teacher would go, stop, because you've just given the computer something to do. And what happens when a computer slows down, or if you give a computer too many things to do, it goes, I'll think about that now, I'll think about that later, I'll think about that now, I'll think about that later, right? So it does this. And then you give it something else to do. So an additional click is, I'll think about that now, I'll think about that later, I'll think about that after, I'll think about that now, I'll think about that later, I'll think about it. And that's how my brain works all the time. That because of my neurodivergence, I have to work on the now thing, because the other things will start to overwhelm me if I try and put my head up and look at them all. So that's why I've got an incredible strategic team around me. So my team are really details based. I've got the phenomenal Danielle Hansen from Pretty Practical Businesses, my wing woman in all things strategy. I've got Anna Fox, who is my assistant. She's my other wing woman. She considers all things details and diary management and making sure that I have all this stuff fit in. She has, like, between them two, they have the list of things that I have to think about, and they're like my computer. So I'll go, I'll think about this now, I'll think about this now, I'll think about this now. They are my, I'll think about this later, I'll think about this later. And then they feed it to me when I've done the now job. But my family doesn't work like that. My family works in the moment, right? They're living in the moment. They're kids, for God's sake. And because there's been so much time stacked out against all of the things that I've got to do, like being Spider is a massive undertaking this time. I mean, it always is, but this time the stakes have been raised. There is minor peril involved in making sure that I pull off an event, the event of my life. Hello?
Hello.
Are you all right?
Yes.
Are you coming to make noise?
No.
Oh, it's all right then.
Just come to say I love you.
I love you too.
Goodbye.
Bye. He hadn't. He'd come in to get toilet roll, and via getting toilet roll, he was telling me he loved me. So kids work in the moment. So trying to pull off this massive undertaking of this incredible event, and I shit you not, the event is incredible. like I could get emotional talking about all sorts of things today. I don't know if you can tell, but that's just the way that the cookie crumbles at the minute. I'm feeling the feels and I'm okay with it. And the reason why I want to talk to you about this is that this happens, you lot. These businesses that you see where people are doing incredible things, they have down days. They have days when they're overwhelmed. They have days where they go, I don't think I can do this. They have days where they hit the wall. They have days where their kids don't even mean to, but just remind them that they've got to be in the moment as well. Like, this happens. So when you're sat there and you're comparing yourself to even me, comparing yourself to other businesses that are out there, particularly in the online space, well, they've got it going on, they're perfect, they don't. And whoever says that they do, I'm calling bullshit right now. What they do is they see a problem and they don't necessarily talk about it like this. They don't externally process like this, and they'll go ahead and they'll fix it. So what I thought I would do is I would bring this to the table today, this mum guilt, right? Is it mum guilt? Particularly, someone shared something beautiful with me this morning. In fact, I just want to thank this person for reaching out to me, because what they said was that men or male parents often will worry about their legacy, will worry about, and they're biologically like wired up to do this. Men are always thinking in provision and legacy. And if you don't already, go follow Fidel Bohill because he talks about a lot of this and he's fantastic. He's a huge friend of the show and friend of IATQB, and we love him. We love a good man, right? So this is not a man-hating situation. This is not a poor mum situation, not a poor dad situation. This is just biology, psychology. That men are in legacy creation, like they're the ones that go and seek out women to mate with in order to carry on the bloodline and all of that sort of stuff. They're hardwired instinctively to do that. Everything is about legacy creation. Often the worry that our good men have is centered in that sort of forward thinking, creating everything now for that thing. Women are often looking after things in the moment. So in the basic needs of stuff, making sure that the children, the husband, that their basic needs, that of their immediate community are looked after. So it's a reactive thing. That's why we are the healers. That's why, women from a tribal perspective have been the carers. They look at things that are happening in the moment and they react accordingly. So I think that what I'm finding myself in this position right now is that I'm in that really sort of masculine role of provider, being the breadwinner of the family, of provider, but also nurturer. So I think that this sort of emotion that I'm feeling right now is being pulled between the two. Anybody else feeling this? Is this just me? Please tell me that it's not. What are you lot saying? Good morning to those of you that are watching along today. Lindsay, hello, my darling. I hope you're all right. Lindsay, P.S. There is a couple of days before you can get your tickets to Reclaimed, an incredible burlesque show in Hereford. If you are in the Hereford area or around and can travel to the Hereford area and you want a fantastic night out of incredible performance, alternative performance, burlesque performance, it's going to make you laugh, it's going to make you cry, it's going to make you think, get a ticket to Reclaimed. It is absolutely wonderful. They haven't got very many tickets left, but if you can get there, I went to the last one and honestly, I cried, I whooped, I wet myself. It was amazing. So if you can get a ticket to Reclaimed, do go. So let's have a little look. What are you all saying? I think this is Beth. Get that oxygen mask on. Well done. Honestly, summer holidays and nails. It's like boss level. I feel like it's boss level. Mine are constantly trying to kill each other. I feel like I'm in the middle of velociraptors all the time. And I'm like, I'm trying to bring you up like kind kids. Like, I'm a kind person. Why are you saying these horrible things to each other? We're all just doing the best we can. You're doing the best you can. Yeah, I definitely am. I know that I'm doing my best. But I felt yesterday particularly, I felt like my best was coming up a little bit short, that my best wasn't enough. And that, yes, I am enough, and like we can chat all the bollocks we like about you are enough, and I'm with you on it. Like, I see you all, you are enough, and I'm not shit. But dropping balls when you're doing this, they feel heavy. Like, it feels like the plates will shatter. And that's like where I'm at in this moment. And look, we're at the midway point. We're just after the midway point of the summer holidays. So no wonder I'm feeling like this, because it's always darkest just before dawn, right? And yesterday was my time. Sarah's saying, I love what they did for me. So what they did, if anybody doesn't know, my kids saw that I wasn't feeling good, and they saw me accidentally react in the moment. In emotion, I was never in a million years angry. They'd asked me to do something. I just went, I don't think I can. And they looked at me, they got worried. They came and gave me a cuddle, and they went, are you okay? And it was like, it feels like something as simple as a walk is really difficult for me to engage in right now, because I can't get off my task long enough to come and go for a walk with you to then get back on task again. I'm trying to keep my very, very busy mental brain, it's not mental, but my very, very busy 8-lane motorway brain on tasks so that I can do what I need to do. So jumping off it to do something and then jumping back on is really difficult. That's one of the things that I found. So when they came and they said, can we do this? I just went, I don't think I can. And they saw, and then I beat myself up for getting emotional in front of them. Both of them, I carried on with my calls. They both of them went out to the shop, but they made me this little hamper of my favourite things. So they put some cream eggs in there. They put some not minstrels, counters in there, some Malteser buttons in there, some fluffy, comfy socks, some face masks in there. And I went downstairs and they made me a brew, and they put this little hamper on the side. And they was like, and I could hear him as I went downstairs, pss, 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 she's coming, she's coming, she's coming, like this. And I goes downstairs and they'd give me this little hamper, and they went, we're just going to have some tea and then we'll sit down and we'll do face masks. And it was just like half an hour, but I had finished work by that point, so I was able to engage. But God, it was just lovely. It was really nice, because one of the things that, you know, my like really close friends often comment on this is that there's not many people doing the looking after for me. So I'm looking after everybody, looking after Wallace, looking after the kids, looking after my friends, trying to look after my family, failing miserably. Like, there's not very many people like doing the looking after. So to have been looked after in that moment was when I was feeling a bit shitty by my kids, then added on that layer of guilt that my kids had to do that for me. Oh, what an idiot. Instead of just accepting it, I just wanted to thank you, my babies. Thank you for being incredible. So here's the question this morning, you lot. How do we relinquish mum guilt? Is it dads? If we've got some dads watching along this morning, do you guys get this? Do you feel this? Is this something that you get? I think that because of the way that our brains work, I don't think it's felt as heavily. I think the more that we talk about it, the more that dads may feel like this, certainly good dads. But I always find that, and this is because of a distinct lack of good men in my formative years, even later years, that the men in my life find it really easy to switch off, but they switch off for extended periods of time. I can't. So yeah, I'm doing my best. I feel the same. I think this is Beth. I feel the same. I don't know why Facebook is saying user again. My eldest wrote, oh, I got one of these. Can I show you? I don't know where it is. It's beautiful though. Daisy wrote it. Here she is. You're on camera if you show your face. She just woke up. She's all blue. I'm telling him how amazing you all are. My eldest wrote me a letter telling me how much they loved me yesterday whilst I was sat at my desk. He said he brought it at my desk because it's my favourite place to be. Talk about mum guilt on Max. Oh my gosh. But how gorgeous that they do that and they notice these things. Rinalini, I needed to hear that this morning. I see you. I am you. Amy Blaney, mum guilt is awful. It's multi-layered and we feel pain on all levels. I always worry I'm not good enough mum and it's sent me crazy at times. Something I have to remind myself of is bad mums don't worry if they're a good mum or if they're... Oh, I like that one. I think there's a lot. I think like there's a lot of mum guilt that comes from years gone by as well. So having put my kids in the position that we did do all those years ago, that's still, even now, that even having that happen to them and with them, they were checks that I were writing that I'm still cashing now in some of the ways that the kids feel. So this whole mum guilt isn't just the in the moment thing, it's the have I damaged my kids? It's a hard thing to think, it's a hard thing to carry with you, I think. And how do we get through it? What do we do? Who knows? Who has the answers? That's exactly what I meant. You're a fantastic mum because you worry about that. We need to cut ourselves some slack, even when it feels nails to do that. Yeah, absolutely. Morning, Maddie. How are you? Saying bless you. Bless mum guilt is real. It is. I know my husband does. He hates having to go to work when the kids are at home. He works shifts. Yeah, I don't think it's. I think it's heavily weighted. I think mum guilt particularly is heavily weighted in the feminine. I've got no doubt that non-binary parents and male parents will feel some degree of guilt, but I don't know, maybe because we're emotional little beings, maybe it's because we're mushy peas, I don't know. But yesterday I felt it hard. Today I'm trying to relinquish it a little bit. It's not getting any easier. We were meant to go on holiday next week, and that is looking like it's not happening. So I'm going to try and take the weekend off again, out, take them away somewhere for those 2 days and try and make some memories in those days as well. And then in the couple of hours that I have off, go and do the uniform shop. And just know that this point in time for these 2-3 months, it's just going to be a push. And then this actually going to allow me to take the whole of Christmas off. And we will make it a priority to have those holidays, in October, in March, I don't know what the answer is. It's just that I wanted to share with you that this is, as we're wising up together, as we're growing, as we're learning together, that whatever it is that you're feeling, you're not on your own. When you're putting things out on social media and you feel like you're pissing in the wind, you're not alone. If you're feeling mum guilt, you're not alone. Here's what we need to do. One is that we need to talk about them. So I had a little cry yesterday. I had a little cry this morning when I woke up, and it was nothing to do with the fact that I feel sad or depressed or anything like that. It's just a little bit of emotions allowing themselves to work through. If I didn't let myself feel them, then I would be repressing them. That would make me ill. That would, pull me out at a point that it would call me out. The body keeps score. It will call me out in some way, shape or form in the future. So how do we allow ourselves to move through this? So getting up early, going to bed early. One of the things that I found myself slipping on these past couple of weeks, and I'm noticing it, is that I've had a few drinks. I don't think that's helped. So recognizing what these things are, solution seeking, talking about them, allowing them not to exacerbate. When you internalize these things, they get bigger and bigger. So having your safety circle around you, your support network around you, tell them, that, this is what I'm feeling in the moment. And last week I was on fire. Last week I was like, yeah, I'm feeling really good. This is amazing. This is the mountain we can climb. And for whatever reason, the energy runs out for a little bit. It's a forecast to rest. Look, who's saying this? This is it. You're resetting your central nervous system. It's essential to have a good cry if it feels like it needs to come out. Yes, that's the one. That's the one. One of my other friends got in my inbox this morning and said that actually outdoor swimming has been a real godsend for her over the course of the summer holidays, and invited me to come wild swimming with her. And I was like, God, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to make that fit, but if that's something that I can do, then I am definitely here for that. So Caroline, thank you for reaching out with that. But yeah, I guess the outcome is this, and please let me just check on my personal profile, because some of you might be watching over there and might have some incredible input for us, which I would love to have for me and for everybody else, because it isn't just me. It never is just me. I don't think there's very many of you watching over there. Jodie Shaw. Jodie Shaw's saying, I felt the overwhelm of being a working parent this summer more than usual. So much. I'm writing my blog about it. Jodie, please let me know that when you've written that, please share it in the Hive. The space that I create here in IATQB, in Be Inspired, isn't just a female-centric space. It is for men. And I think it's important that if you're a man and you're watching and following what I'm doing, allowing yourself to come to the conversation about this is really important. Like, we need to be heard where it comes to things like this. It needs to be understood that the way that we process stuff is a little bit different, and that we can get on better. Like, we need our strong men, we need our strong women, we need our strong men and women and people to come together, and understand that that's, these are the things that we struggle with. One of the things that I found was that my periods have completely regulated since losing the weight that I've lost, back to the point where they are bang on time every month. And guess what? Feeling the emotions really hard from the Friday came on the Saturday. So am I feeling all this right now because I'm being particularly emotional, or I'm feeling things a little bit harder than I normally would? And the answer is yes. Does that make me hysterical? No. Does that make me human? Absolutely. Does it dilute what I'm feeling? No, absolutely not. So again, there's lots of these things that we're multi-layering when we're tackling these things. Like, oh, is it because I'm going through perimenopause? Is it because I'm going through menopause? Is it because it's my period? Like, these are just things that we have to. Is it because I am a normal human being who is spinning a lot of plates and feeling it right now? Yes, as well as all of the other stuff. So it's complex. So what's that telling me? It's telling me that rest is important still. Early nights are important. Health is important still, more now than ever. One of my incredible friends, Claire Morton, says to me time and time again when I get like this, she'll say, Danny, when you don't have time to meditate, that's when you need to meditate. That's when you need to make the time to meditate. My incredible friend, Dan Meredith, talks about having a dentist appointment, doing these things like dentist appointments. If you've got a dentist or a doctor's appointment in your diary, you move things to do that dentist appointment, that doctor's appointment. This is the same thing, that allowing for space. If something isn't working right, if you feel like it's careening out of control, then really look at your diary. I've got a phenomenal team that'll help me jig things about to make things better, to make things feel better. So my team got into my inbox yesterday and said, oh, Danny, if this is how you're feeling, let's move some things around so you've got just a morning or just an afternoon or just an evening, and then you can do things with the kids during that time. So these are all things that we can do to re-clock in, reconsider, rest, replenish. Yes, absolutely. But what about the times when you can't? Rejig. That's the other R. Rest, replenish, rejig. And there might need to be a little bit of rejigging that goes on over the next few weeks. Like, the holiday that I wanted to have isn't going to be the holiday that we planned. It will be, we'll have to take a little bit of time. So we'll have to rejig some things so that we can make some memories in all of the other spaces. Who's saying this? I'm terrible at this, Danny. I don't even make space for the doctors and dentist appointments. I'm pretty sure my finger is broken and I'm not even taking time to get that sorted. Right, so make it your business today to make the decision. How do we get rid of the mum guilt? Start looking after ourselves. And if you can't rest and replenish, rejig. Jen, I have to slow down in August. Working full on like I normally do just doesn't work. Previously, I'd get stressed and overwhelmed and break down. I do it alone, no partner. It falls on me. Yep, the finances, the house, the business. I had to get real and slow down. Let go of being so busy I wasn't living. I'm no rush now and life has improved. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you took that time to listen. And there are times, Jen, where that's not a possibility, where the rest space just isn't feasible because of the things that you're trying to pull off. So that rejig thing is right, let's look at it. What can we move around so you're not putting the ball down, you're just giving it a little spin to keep it going, but it's not one of those panic spins because it's wobbling. You're looking at everything and going, okay, there's a potential that this one might wobble a little bit. Right, okay, so how do we give that a little spin? Morning legend, morning Alex Hughes. We've got Alex Hughes watching over on LinkedIn right now. If you don't follow him already, go and connect with him. The work that he does is phenomenal. You will be seeing more from us in the not too distant future. I will also get him on the show to talk about his phenomenal work his phenomenal work. Hello.
Hi, I'm going now.
You're going now? Are you going?
Nana's.
All right, give me a kiss.
No one wake me up, and I wake up 5
Was
minutes
it meant to
ago.
wake you up?
Yeah, because then I've got to get to Nana's on time.
Oh, what an
We have to
idiot.
clear the bedroom.
I didn't wake up.
It's alright.
Oh. You can get, this is one. You can get yourself so busy that you end up actually achieving nothing. I find there's a difference between busy and productive. Yes, there's a difference. Busy work and important work. And that is part of this rejig. What is the busy work? What is the important work? Good morning to Jojo Smith through Creative Sass, who's in Morocco at the moment. I am very, 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 very jealous. That said, all right, so we've talked about the spinning plates, we've talked about the dropping plates, we've talked about the mum guilt. Alex, what an incredible time for you to enter the conversation as well, because dads get this too. I know Alex very much comes at his business from a parent perspective as well. So much so that he's helping young entrepreneurs access entrepreneurship instead of solely relying on academia. Like I said, we're going to have him on the show to have more of a conversation about this because the man is phenomenal. But this sort of parent guilt, this juggle, this I'm trying to do big things in the world at the same time. I'm still trying to rock the baby to rock the baby. Has anyone heard that concept before? You can only do what you can do. Remember me talking about this at the top end of the summer holidays. You can only pull a pint as long as it takes to pull a pint. If you're 8 deep at the bar, there's a choice. You wait for your pint and the bartender is just going to pull the pint. It's going to take as long as it takes to pull the pint. You're going to serve the pint. That I'm at that point at the moment where I'm pulling the pints. I'm 8 deep at the bar and I'm going to get through them. I will, but I'm just going to keep pulling the pints. And it might take a little bit of rejigging. It might take a bit of a queuing system. It might take a ticketing system, but everybody's still going to get served. But it's good to understand when that overwhelm sets in, what are your solutions? Don't get lost in overwhelm. Please don't lean into the IATQB community. Come on into the IATQB Hive. It's completely free. Share with us your successes, but share with us your challenges. There are enough of us in there with shared experience or even alternative experience that might cast you a little bit of insight to help you, to give you that kind of bump up, to be the hands at your back. So thank you this morning for being the hands at my back. As ever, my darlings, I hope some of what I've said has resonated with you, has helped you maybe feel a little less alone this morning. And hopefully that concept of if you can't rest and replenish, rejig, might help you just keep those plates spinning just a few weeks longer while we keep them all alive for those of you that are parents. Sending you all of my love. I hope you are all good. Just a reminder as well, we've got about 5 exhibition spaces left. We've got just 6 tables left at Be Inspired. So if you want to attend Be Inspired, get your bloody ticket, iamthequeenbee.co.uk. You can still save money by hosting a table for you and 7 friends, or just get your ticket and be there. We're also got 5 spaces left for exhibition spaces. If you want to exhibit alongside some phenomenal national brands, as well as beautiful local and small businesses as well, you want to make sure you are a part of that inaugural IATQB Expo. We've got some phenomenal sponsors, phenomenal entertainment. We need phenomenal exhibitors. You don't just have to have a product-based business, by the way, in order to be an exhibitor. Anybody who's got a business that you can tell people about, it is an alternative way to maybe speaking about your business. It gives you an opportunity, a prime real estate spot to do some in the field sales. And also I'm going to provide you with a training session on how to make the most of that. So you'd pay whatever you would pay for an exhibition space for that training with me anyway. You might as well get that training with me as well as having that exhibition space and be a part of what is going to be a phenomenal experience. We've got a corporate sponsorship brochure that I'm going to share on in the IATQB Hive. You can also send me a DM directly and get a hold of that. We are still yet to announce our headline sponsors. You can get involved with that. Our after party sponsors, we've just had one that I will announce in the next few days. We've got fantastic entertainment by means of, shall I announce that now? Let's give you a little exclusive now for those of you that are with me. We've got George Alfie who's joining us on the Thursday. excuse me, we've got George Alfie joining us on the Thursday, who is going to be singing and playing for us directly after the show. And then we've got Shiggy Pakhtar, who is going to be performing a DJ set in our after party. So the way that the 2 days works, for anybody that's interested, is this. We have an hour of exposition. We have an hour of expo time prior to the kickoff of the event, where we will have all of our stalls who get the party started. So have music going on in there, conversations going on. Our stall holders and our exhibitioners will be able to introduce themselves to you. You'll then be invited back during the break, during lunch, and in our after party networking to go and connect with them further. We'll also be giving them shout outs throughout the day and highlighting and spotlighting them in our program. So there's loads of things that you can get involved with in this phenomenal expo. So please do send me a DM and I will directly give you the brochure. It's all done incredibly professionally, not just the brochure, but the expo itself. We're dead professional, we're proper professionals. But the whole thing is an incredibly professional outfit. You are going to be really, really well looked after by the team and by me, and I cannot wait to see who jumps in for those last sponsorship spots and those last expo spaces. Very, very, very excited to make more announcements about Be Inspired over George from Ideas Fest. Yes, George from Ideas Fest, phenomenal performer, super talented, super cheeky chappy. He's brilliant. You're gonna love him. For those of you that are gonna be at Be Inspired, we chatted at the Moose Bar. He is honestly an absolute delight. He's brilliant. You're gonna love him. He's fantastic. As is Shiggy Pakhtar, whose DJ set is in the after party. So we've got some brilliant entertainment lined up for you after the event, as well as during the event. We've gone big or gone home this time. We decided we weren't going to go home. We were going big. So we are at Manchester United Stadium. So yeah, get your bloody tickets, you lot, if you haven't already. There is only 50 tickets left, and then we're sold out, which is so exciting. We are just 7 weeks away from showtime. I cannot wait. But please do get your tickets. We are going to sell out. I've got no doubt. There's only 50 tickets left and then we're done. But yeah, that's it. I love you. Thank you for being the hands at my back. As ever, I am at yours. I'll see you in the IATQB Hive. If you don't already follow me, at the Queen Bee Danny on Instagram, on TikTok. I'm down with the trumpets now, you lot. I'm on the TikTok. Go and follow me at the Queen Bee Danny. Go and give me some love over there as well. I'll be sharing with you very specific speaker value over there as well, giving you some sales tips, tricks, speaking tips and tricks, and also networking tips and tricks to help you grow and expand your business using your superpower hidden in plain sight, your voice. Right? I love you. I'll see you later. Ciao.